Moving along on the Galaxie, I'm going to take the striker out right now so I can get this prepped up for paint. I think maybe if it's nice I can back the car out and paint the door jamb and the underside of this. I'm going to drill these holes as soon as I get that striker off over here, you know, like those. And that's a sandable primer. I'll give that a quick 400. And I think this side of the door will be ready to spray at the same time I spray that jamb. I can get the other side primed up and maybe paint it when I paint the hood and the fenders. I was thinking, you know, things are moving along on the car really well. I'm going to fix that hole. And then basically the other door and a little dent in the quarter. And the car will be ready to strip and paint. And I was thinking maybe I'll just paint the whole car at once, but I don't think so. I think I get a little better job when I do the section, you know, parts at a time. That way, you know, like if I'm painting the hood or the fender or whatever, and I have something go awry, it's not the whole car I got to start over with. It's just a couple panels, and just makes life easier because I've been known to paint a panel, not like it, strip it, and do it over again. So I just don't want to have to strip a whole car, you know, if something goes awry. A panel or two, yeah, that's not a huge issue, but a whole car is. So I don't know how many of my viewers watch 805 Road King, but he's restoring an old Ford truck, and I saw him using one of these in a video to remove a tailgate striker, and I thought, what a neat tool. So not only did I order one, he had a link in the description for him, but I ordered two. They're both 3/8 drive. That's the info on it. Mayhew 37315. I got these on Amazon. They're about, I don't know, $13 or $14 each. But I got this other one for my brother. I figured he could use one too, but they had them 3/8 and a half, but all my screwdriver bit things and whatnot are 3/8 drive. And then, you know, I'll put a wrench on it and put that in the air hammer, give it a little wrap and turn at the same time, and hopefully break those things free. Let me get things together. It'll probably get blasted with noise, but so be it. Look at that. Yeah, those can be a real nightmare to get out. They tighten them up pretty good. Road King, that tool is the cat's behind. That is awesome. I love it. Yep. Alright, let's get that striker off so I can finish sanding in there. Now, don't you think with that sanded and painted and this all cleaned up and not painted will look a million times better than just painting over this? You know, you saw the effort to take this off. Now, why do people just paint over these? Why don't they just take them off the car to paint? It doesn't make sense to me. It took, you know, what, less than a minute to get that off? And you just get a nicer job, looks nicer, and it needed readjusting a little anyway, so why not take it off? Well, drilling that out was a little difficult because there was a lot of weld in there, but that'll drain. The big holes are in the right place and the rubber completely covers everything. It'll look fine. I got to get the weather strip and drill. I think there's two more holes, or maybe one more hole somewhere around in here where the weather strip clips go, so I'll drill that before I paint too. Yeah, that's sanded out pretty good. I still got to clean up in there with the little Dremel with those Scotch-Brites, but the door jamb, other than, you know, a few spots with the Scotch-Brites, pretty much all sanded and ready to spray. And I think they're talking 50s but rain next week, but I think towards the end of next week it's supposed to dry up and be in the 50s, and if that's the case, this is going to get painted. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of trim off, and then I'm going to strip the paint back to about here to bare metal, full length down, so I don't mess up the new paint here taking this paint off. I was able to find the original holes from inside the door and just drilled them out, and I did put the weather strip up there, and they're a perfect match. And the door, I think this side just needs a quick 400 and it's ready for paint. So like I say, I'll paint this when I paint the door jamb on the car, this side of the door. I'm probably going to take these off and just paint this whole surface, we'll see. Most of it anyway, and just make it a little nicer. In sanding this out, there's still a few little imperfections in the filler. I'll just have to put a second coat. This is the first coat. And it's up here because you gotta feather it. You know, if you don't feather it, you see it. Right now, only thing I can feel in imperfections are these spots to where it's, you know, down a little bit. This feels really good. A few little dimples in the filler. I'll put a film on there. But I was just kind of going over the door with the air file, and I see a little bump right there outward, and it looks like that's probably been like that since it's been new. And I think I'm gonna fix it. I just taken the air file and going over the door kind of. And that way, you know, it just sands back and you can see any possible door dings or damage. You can see some grind marks there from where somebody in the past has done some repairs on the car. I think there was another spot, but you can kind of, let me turn the radio on. There was a few, like somebody took a disc grinder with like a really coarse disc and hit it there and there. And when I was stripping this door, it looked like this had something that was on it too. I should have videoed it. I'll have the video when I run across again, like the paint was damaged from being egged or something thrown on the car. But you can definitely see grinder marks in two spots on the door. And that, I think, is going to show up. Well, now is the time if I'm going to repair this. And I've already tapped it a little bit, and it looks like most of it's out. There's one little high spot right there. I think I might hit that with the air file again and just see where it shines and where my hammer marks are left. Little low spot right there, but it's, I think because it's high right here, I don't think that's really low. I think this is just high. That looks pretty darn good. I think that there's a little mark right there, and I think I can sand that out. That looks really good. I'm going to call that good. I can see one tiny little dimple right there, and I'll just, when I do the filler over here, I'll just take my finger and just smear it, and then I'll just take my finger and hand sand it. I just didn't want to see something here with the rest of the door really looking nice. That was bulged out pretty good, and that's a seam, so I don't think I can tap it back the other way. Let's see. I think we'll call that good enough. It's just like I say, if there's going to be a, almost not even worth putting filler in it, it's so insignificant, but I didn't want that bend up in there. But I think I'm going to just put a, like I say, a little dab there. That's the final coat, I hope. I think I'm just going to sand that out by hand when I sand it. I'm not going to use the machines, and I think it'll just come out, give it all hand sand. I'll spray some filler primer on it, give it a blocking, and then hopefully it'll be ready for the red oxide and some paint. A lot of sanding this door jamb out right here. This is lead that they kind of slopped around here. That's a sloppy weld. And then the really bad job of seam sealing. So after I finish sanding this out, I'm going to prime it with zinc chromate and re-seam seal this. Try and neaten it up a little bit. And a little neater than what the factory did. The door jamb's ready to mask and prime. I seam sealed the corners where they needed to be. It's all pretty much all sanded out. I'm going to mask right here. And I'll show you how I do it so I don't get a line, a sharp line. You get a sharp line, but when I go to do it, I do it such and you'll never see the mask line. And I'll show you how you do it. And I'm going to do the same here. So when I, go to clean this surface, I don't have any, sharp lines to sand. Well, I'm stripping this all to the metal, but anyway, I'm going to overhang the tape just a smidge, and then when I mask this, I'll show you how I do it. You don't see paint lines the way I do it. These are my thoughts of what I want to do. I would like to get these panels painted, but I don't want to get overspray on them after they're painted by painting, other things, jambs or primering or whatever, if I have to do it in here or whatever. So because these aren't attached to the car, they're going to be difficult to be moving around. So I thought I would get these are my thoughts. Get the jamb painted, get the face of the door primed up, and then paint the door and the two fenders, the hood all at the same time. Reinstall a door adjusted correctly, the fender adjusted correctly, the hood adjusted correctly. That fender just sitting on there, maybe with a few bolts. And then I'm going to fix this rust. Fix the little bit that I got to fix here. Straighten that out. Then I'm going to bump this and fill that, whatever I need to do with it. Take the door off, strip it down and repair it just like this door. And what I'm thinking is I'll probably paint the rear quarter panels and the trunk lid top and the door skin all in one shot. And what I'll probably do is I want to paint the inside of the trunk, and I'm probably going to paint the inside of the trunk before I paint the quarter panels. I don't care if I mess up and get a little overspray in the trunk, it's not the end of the world. If I mess up and get a little overspray on brand new paint here, that's upsetting. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll paint the underside of the trunk lid the same time I paint the inside of the trunk. I got 1 gallon for all the inner panels and 1 gallon for all the outer panels. So that's kind of the way I'm doing it. And if I can paint outside, I'm going to. We're supposed to warm up next week, and I'm going to try and do some painting next week. And I prefer to do it outside this time of year because there's no insects. There isn't pollen or dirt or nothing really in the air. It's good clean air outside. You get good light, some little bit of air movement, and a nice day, mid-50s, low 60s. Paint seems to cure at a nice rate. I get my best paint jobs when I paint outside this time of year, before bugs and pollen, and I want to get all the painting done on the outer body before bug and pollen season, period. I think the door is finished. It looks pretty good, pretty straight. I put that sandable primer on wet and really looked down it and didn't see any imperfections in it. I think the door is finished. I'm going to put it back on the car and make sure it all lines up and fits good before I do any more work on anything. But then I think I'm going to mask this side, paint this side in the jamb, and then I'll let it dry a day or two, and then I'll prime this up so I can paint the fenders and the hood and this door all at once. I put the door on and adjusted the door to where it fits pretty good. I mean, I didn't go all out and make it fit exact, but I made it fit close enough. And the fender's just setting there. There isn't one single bolt in it. But I wanted to be able to, you know, I can hold the fender up and move it around, make sure the body contour is right on the door for the quarter panel in the bottom of the door, and it all fits even. The gap at the bottom of the door is even. This fits nice. Put the trim on, just, well, I didn't put it install it, just set it on just to make sure, you know, nothing hit there. And I think that's pretty good. I think I'll pop the door off so I can paint the jambs, and then I'll get the door primed and it'll be ready for paint. And this just needs, that looks pretty good. It just needs a good blocking out and it's ready for paint. Fender looks awesome. Car's going to look nice when it's together. The other fender's just hanging on there, but I got a bolt in there and a bolt in there on the other fender just setting in the hole just to, so it doesn't fall off. I didn't have a place to store it, but that looks pretty good. I think we're going to say that fits. You know, once it's all bolted together and I bolt it together, I can get everything lined up good then, you know, because you shim the fender when you bolt it, and you know, and I'll do a real nice final adjustment on the door. But I just wanted to make sure now is the time, you know, if that didn't line up down there or something was wrong there, now is the time to fix it, not after it's got paint on it. And the same with here. I pushed the fender in and held it up there. I can't hold things and work the camera at the same time, but take my word for it. It looks really good, really happy. So let's just get a video down the car for the heck of it. Now that's ready for masking. The door fit pretty good for the most part, you know, lined up with the fender and everything. So I think I'm going to call it a day now. I kind of messed up my shoulder back, right shoulder and back a little bit, twisting that door around. When I carried it over there, it was upside down the way it was sitting on these sawhorses, and I had to turn it over, and I'm not in my 20s anymore, so muscling these doors around by myself is not the easiest thing in the world. And so anyway, I'm going to call it a day. Tomorrow it's supposed to be a rainy morning, crummy day, so tomorrow I think I'll mask this side, flip it over, sand the jamb with some 400 and mask this right here. And if it's nice like they're predicting Tuesday, I'll back the car out, paint the jamb, paint the jamb of the door. A day. So if you like my video, hit the like button. You know, I'm standing here a little stiff right now, so a like button would be awesome. If you like my channel and want to see this door painted up and back on the car and this car looking like a new again, subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching.